So the first topic I'm going to talk about is that I saw Godzilla Minus One in theaters. Now I'm a big Godzilla fan. I love the Godzilla animated series from the '90s, which lasted 2 seasons. I didn't like the Godzilla movie from 1989. I thought that was terrible. I love the 2014 film. I gotta say, this Godzilla Minus One is my favorite Godzilla movie. I think this movie does a great job of making you care for the characters. You really feel invested in the characters. Like I love this whole story arc of this main guy who has this traumatic event that happens at the beginning, and he has PSTD from it, where he's just having nightmares and feeling like he didn't deserve to live, that he should have died. And that's the thing for me is that this movie told a great emotional story. Like you cared about the characters. You cared about what happened to them. And I also love the fact that Godzilla felt like an asshole death in this movie. Like he does come off like you see Godzilla kill a lot of people in this. So I love the fact he's like painted as a villain in this and not as the anti-hero or the good guy. So I just love what like this interpretation of Godzilla in this movie too. I thought visually it looked great. And like I said, it just told a great story. And for me, I'm like somebody who really is a story and character person. Like to me, your story doesn't need to be complicated. It doesn't like you can have a simple great story, a complicated great story. But what makes the movie, in my opinion, for me, what like enhances the movie is when I care about the characters and what's happening to them in the movie. And to me, this movie told just a great emotional story where you really felt for the characters, for the lead character and all the characters around him. Like you wanted the main character to live at then. So this was a great movie. I highly recommend go see Godzilla Minus One in theaters. Like I think that it's having like a limited type of release, so it's not going to be in theaters as an American movie. Now, obviously, this is a movie in subtitles, so and personally, for me, the subtitles didn't bother me. Like I'm somebody that can watch the movie in subtitles, and it doesn't really bother me having to read the subtitles. But just great movie. If you're a Godzilla fan, go and see this in theaters. The next thing I want to talk about is that I watched that Netflix animated movie Leo. Now, when it comes to Adam Sandler's voice acting track record, doesn't have the greatest personally for me. Like he did that crazy Eight Nights, that Christmas animated movie a long time ago, which I think was awful, one of his worst movies. And then he voiced Jack in the Hotel Transylvania movies, which I think those movies are fine. They're just not personally for me. I can see why they would be cute for kids. I can see why people would think they're fun, but I've never really been that high on that franchise. Obviously, they make money those movies, though. But and also when it comes to Adam Sandler, he's kind of been. I'll be honest, I haven't found him funny lately. I've actually loved him in movies like Uncut Gems and that movie where he played a basketball coach. Like those are my two favorite movies lately from him. Like I love a lot of his earlier comedy stuff, but I just don't find him funny anymore. So he does the main voice for the lead character that's listed in the movie. And I'll say this about this movie: this is one of his better movies. Like there was at times where I could tell they were repeating jokes from his like older movies, like comedy I've heard Adam Sandler do a bunch of times. But there was some funny moments in this movie. And overall, I had a fun time watching it. I thought it was cute, entertaining. It's not one of the best animated movies that I've seen, and the story isn't like one of the best storylines I've seen. But I don't know, there was some nice, thoughtful moments in the movie. I liked the characters. I like how the substitute teacher actually has a whole story arc with her character that I was surprised by. The kids are likable, those characters. And overall, I like the character Leo in this animated movie. And some of the humor did work for me, where sometimes I thought it was funny. So overall, I think Leo was just a fun, cute movie. It's not going to be one of my favorite movies. It's not one of the best Netflix movies I've seen. But it was a movie that like I heard nothing about until I saw like a review on it on YouTube. And I would say go check out Leo on Netflix. If you're looking for a fun, cute movie, I would recommend it personally. The next thing I want to talk about is the news that the white who's white in Avengers Secret Wars is been confirmed that he's gonna be white in Avengers King Dynasty now. Now I can see some people having mixed opinions about this because this writer wrote Loki season one, but also wrote Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. And I love Loki season one. And when it comes to Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, I love that movie. I thought it was to me, I thought it was a great MCU movie. Now, I know not a lot of people loved it though. Like some people, like it got good reviews, but I know some people were missed on it. I can totally understand that it didn't. Some people were disappointed in the multiverse aspects in that movie. How they used it in it when it comes to feeling like it didn't live up to like seeing all these great, like seeing a bunch of great cameos and all that. And it was a movie that was rewritten 33 times. I mean, the actress who played American Chavez said that his Multiverse of Madness was the script was rewritten 33 times. So I don't know how much of that writer's script was actually in that movie. And I can tell it was a movie that felt like it was rewritten a couple of times, even though I love it. I can definitely tell it was a movie that felt like that. But I don't know, I'm personally more excited based on Loki season one and Doctor's Multiverse of Madness, and I'm glad they got the writer off who was originally going to write King Dynasty because that guy wrote like Rick and Morty, which I never saw that show, and so did this guy. But he also, the guy who was originally going to write King Dynasty, also wrote the new Ant Man movie. I was not a fan of Ant Man. I watched Quantumania. I gotta be honest, that's like one of my least favorite MCU movies, and I've liked that less and less each time I think about that movie. It's a movie that had a bunch of issues. It didn't do well at the box office. It was the worst received Ant Man movie. And I think just I would not want him writing an Avengers movie because with Avengers movies, these are MCU's biggest movies. You're talking about a franchise, but it made like every Avengers movie made over $1 billion with $2 billion area. So I definitely think they need to like get these Avengers movies down. And also, I'm happy that these next few Avengers movies have a single writer now. So it makes me also think they're going to be more connected than it originally was. So obviously, you don't have directors for these two Avengers movies yet because I know the guy who directed Shang-Chi isn't going to be is going to be directing. I can't remember if it was King Dynasty or Secret Wars. I think it was King Dynasty, but he was originally going to direct King Dynasty. He's off the project, but I'm just glad that they have a single writer now, and I am excited for this choice. But like I said, I can understand why some people who maybe not because not everybody loves Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness. I can understand maybe some people not being happy or excited for this choice. But like I said, this writer also did season one of Loki, which I loved. So I'm posting this posting makes me more excited for the Avengers projects. The next thing I want to talk about is the news that the actress who's going to be a new alien movie that's coming out next year. She was also in Pacific Rim Uprising, was a terrible movie. She said the new Alien movie is going to be set between Alien and Aliens. Now, I think this is really interesting because I thought it was going to be a reboot. And I'm really excited for this new Alien movie, obviously, because you have the director who did the Evil Dead 2013 movie. He also did the first Don't Speed movie, which I loved, and I thought the Evil Dead 2013 movie was still a really fun, entertaining movie. So I would say based on that choice. But I do think it's interesting set between those two movies because Saw X did that recently too, where the new Saw movie was set between the original but before the events of Saw 2. So this makes me think, are we going to see some like references in the new Alien movie from the original Alien movie? I just love the fact she also said like she's a big fan of sci-fi movies, this actress, and that she was a big fan of Sony Riva and this franchise. I just think overall it sounds like this movie is in good hands. And it definitely makes me think that with the placement of this, we're probably going to see some references to original Alien movie. Because obviously, if you're set between Alien and Alien, Sony Riva's character is still alive at this point. So I just thought that was interesting because, like I said, I thought this was going to be like a reboot and not have any connections to any of the other Alien movies. But definitely, but I think, like I said, I think it's just interesting the placement for this movie. But this does make me more excited for the new Alien movie that's coming out in 2024. Like, I can't wait for that movie. So that's all the movie topics today. Until next time, movie fans.